Folks, we are going to do some cartography today. This is the map we're going to be working on, but let me give you the book cover. Cover. There we go. Here's the book cover that we worked on before. We're going to do some cartography today. Take a look at the finished product we have for Act 3 and continue with Act 4. Take a look at the finished product we have for Region 3 and then dive into Region 4. Give me a hot second here to punch all my signals. Follow me on Twitter. I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter. So how about that? Give me a moment here for me to hit on my Discords here. The Eberron Discord and the DMsGuild Lounge. Shout out to all the folks. DTRPG. We got Indestructiboy's Designosphere and Durzazad's Discord channels coming along nicely. Trent Monk, of course, is excellent, as is Dungeoneers Pack. Mad shout out to Fry's Mini and Zipperon and Cleric Corner with Riker, and we also got down here Rich Mary, as well as the D&D Discord in general. Hey guys. Alright, so we punched all our signals and we're sounding fine, so let's switch over. Get some building done. So my name's Phil. I build stuff. I build PDFs to go onto the DMsGuild, and so I started this stream to show the typey bits to make the words happen, and then hand it off to the editor. And then when the editor sends it back to us, we do the layouts so that the words fit on the page. And once we're done with that, we do the page dressing to make the pages pretty. And any empty spots that are on the page, we then pull here into Photoshop and we paint. So we'll fill spots with art, just like you would expect for a PDF. And once we have all that stuff done and we screen up all the hyperlinks and everything works properly, we export the PDF to go onto DMsGuild. So you can see an example of some of my previous work in the DMsGuild link down below. There's a 35% discount for a bundle of color mechanics that I built for use with MTG, as well as elemental key mechanics for Way of the Four Elements and other classes to dip into the elemental magic idea, as well as the universal spell points and high magic system for people that want to stick with the 8 schools of magic but want to have a more simple system for using spell points and replace spell slots. All that stuff is to be saying that it's available from cover to cover. You can read the entire thing, see all the artwork, see how I wrote the mechanics. All these books come with little tokens and play mats and extra little fiddly bits. So right now, while our adventure is still in edits, we are building out the things that we know we're going to need. We've built this book cover. I think we're on episode 65 now, so this was back in like around episode 40, I think, that we built those things. And we've spent the past 26 hours building this map, and it is done. So now we can use this map as a template for this map that we're going to start working on tonight. So basically, we have a common language that we can use for the color of the cobblestones on the ground and the walls. We have a texture for the crystals that are growing throughout the manifest zone that these locations are inside of. We have a language now for this topside water, and we also have language for how the water looks underground, where it doesn't have as much exposure to air, as well as the tunnel that leads to it, which is absolutely just littered in crystals. And you can see the water running down the side of the tunnel here from where it puddles here. You can see here is a hole that leads underground that is paralleled here that leads into this underground structure, as well as here there's this ladder down that leads to this soupy grotto that, if you can slip underneath the door that's wedged here, you can then pitter patter down this puddle and go all the way down until you hit the water line. And you can see that the water line starts here and goes almost 20 feet deep here in the back corner, and that there is passages that lead to seeping ruins that let you escape this tunnel and go elsewhere. There's also a topside. There's a grating here that goes up into a siege house that's above this, which is a iron door that is currently closed. So this map is done. We'll strain it up with its numbers once we finish the adventure and we see how all the things play out, so we can make sure we have all the positioning correctly on this. But what this does for us is it builds a common language that now we can go into here. We can properly color the floor here. We can properly texture it with crystals. The area of the map that's not on cobblestone, we have the language for that color and what that gristle all looks like out here. The crystal soil that's being, for lack of a better word, terraformed into Mabarite ground. So once we get this pieces filled, then we can move forward to the cemetery. So this is relatively small in comparison to this work. This is 48 inches by 30 inches. So that is a huge map space, and it can break up into 10 inches by 16 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This can break up into 9 11 by 17 pages that have a half-inch border around its margins. So it's a 10 by 16 interior space that breaks down into this grid of 1-inch squares. So you don't have to use the color format of this stuff. You can instead use the black and white version. If you want to print out the black and white version for very simple use on a tabletop map with very low ink requirements, then this will break up into 9 different pieces. But on a tabletop environment, like on a virtual tabletop, then this sits easily inside of a single square. And then here's the 2 tunnels. Hey, Hornetica! Strapped up a different screen and trying to see notifications of this one. Hey man, it's going fantastic. We finished this map. Here's the underground tunnel that we have. It goes from the top here. I was just walking through this process. And then you got the stairs that go here, and there's a closed door underneath this wall. So if you can get the door open, or if you can slide underneath it through the muck, then you can go down the tunnel here and follow this water line downhill. There's also the topside entrance. There's the gap in the hole in the wall that the water is seeping into as well. So you've got water seeping in here, and you've got water seeping in here, and they're both flowing downhill. You can see the blue line running downhill, and then it tops out, and then it starts to accumulate. And this is the side shot of how much water is accumulated. Here's the top entrance, the murder hole that you can break through or crawl through or sneak through or gaseous form through to get into the guardhouse up above. You then peel this open and lift the rest of your team in, and then you all can take a short rest in the guardhouse here before proceeding onward. Or if you're willing to dive beneath the surface of this slick water ick, you can find a false entrance that leads to a dead end here, or this one, which will actually lead, as we've discussed before, actually into the structure, into the underground fortress here. So you can either get in through the top side here, you can get in by going see underground here, 10-15 feet underneath the surface of water at this point. So you can dive down in there and then hold your breath and go through the tunnels to end up in the next map. But this is littered much more profusely with crystal colonies. Here we had some crystal colonies gathering up around the walls that aren't necessarily being used so much, and then obviously out here in the rugged terrain it's just covered because it's slowly being mined. So there's crystal, little gatherings of crystals that kind of accumulate here. Like here's a big mess of it that hasn't been cleared out for a while, so you can see these knots of crystals that are growing. But once you get down here into the underground tunnel, you can see it's far more abundant. So oops, looks like my system just crashed. So I'm going to have to reboot this. But this is all leading into the language that we can use for this map. Now that we have that map finished, we can use the same language as we did for, hold on, 1219. Yeah, that's what 1219. So now that we have all this language figured out, we can just basically cut, paste. I mean, in some instances, literally cut and paste But in other instances, we can just pick up the same color pattern that we have in this piece and then transfer it over to this one. So this piece should go far faster. So I'm going to go ahead and set a timer for 20 minutes so we can get this thing up and running and get it good to go. So give me a minute here. Let's go to 20 minutes on the bop. Have a sip of tea. All right, let's get into it. Let's see. I think I want to do some cleanup. Let's get our tools out. I'm anticipating this one going much faster than the other one. Granted, the stonework here still needs work, I think. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm just going to drop that down to a lower opacity. And let's go ahead and take a look here real quick to see what our line language was. Was that 4? 3. And 4. That's right. 2, 3, and 4. 2 for detail, 3 for common walls, and 4 for structural stuff. So good. That is a common language that I can use. So let's pick this up. And structural stuff means like this, like obstacles, walls here, these walls leading down. But like the stairs here would be a 3 each step. While this inner stuff here would be like a 2. So that's what we're going to work on. We're just going to be tracers right now. That's what we're going to be. We're going to be tracers. So I'm not sure how exciting this episode is going to be with me just sitting here tracing, but we shall see. I love how that map turned out. It is just, I'm happy. I'm very, very happy with that. So I can use that same language for this map as well as the cemetery map, which we'll work on next. And then a lot of that language will be able to transfer over to the underground map when we color that. So it's basic, but I think that that Flooded Fortress showed us the level of quality that we should be able to expect for the color maps that we're producing here. So I am. There's only like 6 of them total. Well, there's 5 now. There's this map, there's the cemetery map, there's the underground map, and then there's the village map. And then there's the little vignettes. So it's actually like 4 and some little, and like maybe a couple pages worth of small vignette maps. So we're actually not that far. We don't have that far to go. Now that we've figured out all the texturing and color that we want to have throughout the product, the only one that's going to offer us a new challenge is going to be the village, because there's and then the vignettes will fill in. But like the village has grass and actual trees, as well as like current like non-ruin. I'm struggling for the word. Buildings that aren't destroyed yet is I don't know what the pre-ruin is supposed to, what the what the noun there is, or I guess general adjective for that sort of stuff. But it'll require different language than the rest of these maps will. So like the underground laboratory has a little bit of the same language as these Act 2 Topside maps have, but it's still different because it's got the bunker area, which isn't affected by any crystals yet, but that is also like a stone and steel structure, which is a lot more sturdy than the material that's in the village. So we also have before and after images for the village. Before and after it's been attacked, so that will also have some variance on the type of maps. So maybe more like 6 is accurate actually. I'm gonna have to redo. I have to duplicate the each of those buildings. Have to do, like, one is pre-violence and the other one is post-violence. It's like blood marks and crystals growing in different areas and things knocked over and stuff like that. As opposed to everything being in order. But it'll be fun to do. And the actual overland map, we already almost have that finished. But I've been holding off on labels. The only thing that the regional map needs now is labels. And I'm holding off on that because I want to make sure I know what kind of alphabet, like what kind of font I want to make sure that we're gonna, like, I want to know the font we're going to use for the book overall before I overcommit to a specific font, because that shit takes me time. Like I am not quick with fonts at all. So I want to make sure I know which font we're going to use before I commit to investing that time, so I can finish all the visual assets without any labels on them. They're like the flooded fortress, and then have the key, like all the little squares and stuff. Once I have all that, we can lock all that stuff in. And that is not our priority right now. Like that's like maybe stringing up all that stuff is like maybe 6 or 8 hours worth of work total across all the maps. So we'll be able to get to those in proper time. God, I love, now that I finished one map, I love it. I was stressing out the entire time about how well is it going to look, or how good is it going to look, English Kearney. But, God, I'm happy. So I just want to do a shitload of these now. So maybe if one D&D turns out to be utter dog crap, and I don't build products for one D&D anymore, I can maybe get into cartography instead. Who knows? I certainly hope that Wizards doesn't screw the entire creator community or do anything wonky with people on D&D Beyond, or DMsGuild. I would very much like to continue doing that sort of stuff. I have no idea if that's something that Wizards has planned for us or not. So I want to try to get all these command mechanics done before one D&D drops, because if they cut us off at that point, I can wash my hands of Dungeons and of Wizards of the Coast altogether if I need to, because I will give them their due. of different concept designs. So I can probably safely strike off on my own at that point and attempt to do Kickstarters, build my own sort of game system, depending on what we end up with. And that's kind of the wait and see sort of thing for me. Is I don't honestly know what the mechanics are going to be like, and I don't know how user friendly they're going to make them. I don't know what the third-party creator scene is going to be like at the end of all this destruction of trust. Like, they've got a year and a half to go, and this is where they're at. Like, there's a lot of chaff coming from the creator, the fan base that's supposed to help provide feedback about this system for the next, 16 months. And I don't think they're doing a good job at getting a lot of enthusiastic feedback at this point. I mean, call me crazy, but it seems like everyone's just kind of like, don't screw this up. And I don't know how constructive their feedback on these surveys are going to be. If all of them are, don't screw with our game, stop screwing our game up, what is your intention? I question how happy of course they're going to report that everything's awesome, because that's what they're going to do, because that's the hype train. But I wonder how much they're going to have to lie. So I am mildly concerned. The only reason I'm concerned is just because Wizards has just been so wonky lately about trying to chase profits that aren't realistic in a post-pandemic time. I don't think they've really gotten the message about that. So I think they are overreaching. That's my concern, that they're overreaching. And I think every time they go through new management, they step further and further away from people that actually care about the game, and that hurts. I mean, up until this point, I was under the impression that Jeremy Crawford and Bruce Perkins really like playing this game, and they want to do well for it. But I think there's some severe limitations on what they're actually able to do, which is a pretty harsh take. Takeaway, as it were, I guess. What am I trying to say? I think they're in a bind where they love this game, but they definitely don't want to lose their job over it. So I think they're doing some severe calculus in their head when they're being presented with challenges for what's next for them. But we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. It'll all be fine. I'd really like to keep producing content specifically for Dungeons and Dragons, simply because I have so much fun fixing it. And that's where Eberron is at, and I want to do Eberron adventures, so I want to be involved in whatever form of production we're going to be allowed in 1D&D. I'm just not sure where that is going to lead us. So it'll be interesting. Basically, all I can really do, though, is just keep doing what I'm doing. And if at the very worst, if everything gets shut down and the DMs Guild gets shut down and everything that's on the DMs Guild gets put under lock, because I don't actually own that stuff that I produce, I just get paid for it. If they decide to lock it all down, they can decide to crash the site and disable any public facing of the products that are on there. So they could decide to just to pick it all up and drop it onto onto D&D Beyond at no cost. As hey, if you guys want to continue playing 5th edition, you can. Here is 30,000 products that you can pick through on your own to use if you want. As long as you have access to D&D Beyond, you'll have access to this content, for example. Who knows? I mean, that may be what they decide to do. That'd be really weird. But it's possible. And if that is the case, then that just means that whatever I was doing with all that stuff is just basically over now. So I knew it going in that it was something that may eventually disappear and that I wouldn't have access to seeing it anymore. And that was the risk I was willing to take to, create Magic the Gathering game concepts and to, Spelljammer, like official Spelljammer supplements, and to reformat Lattice Raxus. Like, these are all things I have to do. Well, I guess I don't have to do. I could do them on Patreon, but no one would ever freaking see them. And at least here on the DMsGuild, I get weekly sales. I get sales every day. It's a matter of how much stuff gets sold. So it'll be anywhere from $1 to $20 a day is basically what I get currently with the very small selection of products that I have out on the DMsGuild. So it's I'm very much looking forward to building that library up more with the command series stuff that we're building here that can then curve into any kind of organization that we want, or into any other campaign source material. That's like really where I want to be at with this stuff. And so hopefully one D&D will make all that still possible for us. Anyway, I watched Nerd Immersion recently, and he was basically had an open letter to Wizards. Don't screw this up. Which is the absolute common theme of December. All I want for Christmas is for Wizards to not screw up D&D. But with them destabilizing Magic the Gathering, it's kind of hard to say what are they willing to do. I'm not threatened by them talking about D&D being under monetized. It's that I think they really just mean merchandise, like Cleric cereal and more TV shows and movies and just general merchandise, like a D&D version of Risk and all the yada yadas. I think that's where they're heading, and that doesn't threaten me. The Roll20 is not going to go anywhere. They can't take that away from me. I guess they could. I don't know. I guess they could go bankrupt or something. So they could take that away. We'll see. Pretty simple setup. Hey, timely timer, keeping time. Thank you. Yeah. Nice. Topography, Kearney. Topography is the word I'm actually trying to use. Get out of here, Skywag. Thank you. Yeah. Good, 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 good. Keep pushing the space around. I like doing these flagstones. It's just such a torn up little environment. Yeah, we'll finish this line art. We'll probably finish the line art tonight. Just keep getting at it. And I'm supposed to do like that. Good. Not bad. We're making progress. What do I want to work next? What's going on here? All the directions at once. Hey, we keep it up. We're just gonna keep on making lines. Girl's asking if the smell got weird before I lost it. No. I was asking about when my sense of smell disappeared. Was there any weird indicators or anything like that? She's concerned that she's losing her sense of smell and taste as well. I don't recall that. What happened with me was I was just doing my daily bits, and all of a sudden I was like, why can't I smell anything? Oh crap. I just like noticed that like my cologne doesn't have any smell. My shampoo doesn't have any smell. What's going on? And that's when I realized I lost my sense of smell. Bum, bum, bum. It came back up. It was gone for like 3 days, and then it was back. So I've got my sense of smell and my taste back, and it's like down for a weekend. It's like that's pretty convenient. Like it was neat not having those sensations for a couple of days, and I was actually excited about it lingering for a month or so because I was like, oh boy, I can deprogram myself from sugar because I can't taste anything. It won't matter. But womp womp, it came back online almost immediately. It's like, oh, what? You're gonna lose sugar? Oh nope. Gotta go back online. Get out of here. It's like the sugar industry can't have that, so they're just gonna turn my senses back on remotely. Like what? is. Okay. I want to do that. Looking good. Looking really good. Nice. Nice. All right, let's keep going. How many steps are over here? That's important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. And I love doing just this stone line work. It's just so relaxing. Very satisfying to do it. I love just building these shapes and how they connect with each other. I really enjoyed drafting classes in high school and college. I think I missed a calling as a draftsman. Ooh, man, so far so good. We're actually going to geez, where are we at? Hour and a half. 8:30 now. Yeah, we're gonna finish our circuit. That is I did not expect that. So that means we get to go around again. Just keep on building out details until we feel we're happy. Yep. Keep on kicking on. All right, we finished the circuit. Good job. Now let's just lay in some incidentals, and we should be pretty good. Oops, stairway. Good. Hey, Dragon King, what up, my man? Yep, we're making maps, my man. Making maps. Here's the map that we finished the other day. We're going to use the same coloring and textures on this one. Once we get the line art done here, we'll be able to use the same language in the next one. I am excited, very, very excited about this map. All these maps, really. Once I got that first one finished, now it's just I have a language like common colors and textures that I can use throughout all the works. So now it's just exciting. 9 o'clock. It's gonna rock. 9 o'clock here in Seattle. Got maybe 20 minutes left or so. Then I'm going to come back and work on this map tomorrow morning. Project has been so drawn out. It's really an emotional experience to actually get to the point where I'm, creating assets and like this adventure took, I kid you not, a year for us to build. And maybe it was built in 9 months, but then we had to do play testing, so we had a number of groups play testing it. And then we had to make changes based on the feedback that we got from them. So, all in all, we probably finished. We probably had our first take, maybe in 6 or 7 months, maybe. I mean, realistically. But then we had like months of play testing and then revisions that we went through with different groups. I think at this point we're pretty happy with where we're at now. So it's exciting to see the project manifesting and to get it. And once you see the editing is such a cool stage, because you can see how the text that you used. Like if you've got a good editor, the editor is going to be like, this language doesn't make any sense, and like what exactly is it that you're trying to say here and stuff like that. That's the kind of pushback you get from good editing, which is why you want to pay your editor well, and to get more of that pushback language. And it's great to see a product coming along and to have that tussle with the editor, that a lot of it makes sense, but like here's some points where I think is going to be better. Like they add in like little flavor blitz, like little things you hadn't thought about in the original writing, but it's just like they just kind of pepper it in, It's super cool, super cool. I'm just going to leave that like that because we're going to end up blackening in a lot of that on our own. So I don't think I need to do more about that than that. Base map. I like the grittiness that I have from the rough lines, but it just doesn't. It's too rough. That'd be my girl Badooping at me. That is my gal. So I'm going to go ahead and stop stream here. And when we pick up tomorrow morning, we get to start coloring this. So we get to use the same colors that we have from this map. So we bounce them back and forth between the two maps. And so I am really excited about that. I will be back on in about 9 hours. So I'll see you guys on the other side. That's it for tonight. And like, subscribe, share, check out a lot of my other content. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks a lot.